Genius Talk podcast. I'm your host, Atul Raj from the bestemailmarketer.com. And today we have Oliver Kenyon with us. Oliver, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Awesome, brother. So, for our listeners who don't know you, can you tell them who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, it depends if you want the long or short version. The short version is I'm a fully qualified chef turned online entrepreneur. I've been doing this for online for about 20 years now. And I'm currently co-founder and CEO of ConversionWise, one of Europe's largest CRO and landing page agencies.
That's great. So, what's the backstory of ConversionWise? Like, how did it start and what problem does it solve?
Yeah, sure. So ConversionWise was actually born out of a different business that I had. So the very first business that I would say enabled me to leave my offline job as a chef when I was the age of 26 was an affiliate marketing community. So I found CPA and affiliate marketing many, many years ago when I was still chefing and still in school. And when I was doing affiliate marketing, as always, I think these days we're so lucky because we have things like Twitter, LinkedIn, where everyone like shares everything. Back in the day, everyone was like very secretive. They didn't share any methods, any secrets, any tips. So I created a community for affiliate marketers to talk about affiliate marketing in the hope that people would come and share stuff with me so I could make more money through affiliate marketing. Little did I know what was that actually would turn into the business, not the affiliate marketing. The business became the community. And the best thing that happened about that community, not that I sold it to Neil Patel back in 2017, the best thing that came from that community is I actually found my co-founder, Andy, through that community. And we had thousands of members from all around the world, but it turns out he was literally 30 minutes drive from my house and he was doing the same thing as I was doing. So I met Andy, and one thing that I was very passionate about and still am is community, but also design. And I found a designer on the community who designed the forum. It was an old school, way before like school and Discord and Facebook groups. It's an old school forum. And the designer styled or skinned the forum. So it looked aesthetically really nice. Now, a lot of affiliates and affiliate networks were joining the community and loved the look of the design. So they would inbox me and hit me up and say, Oliver, like, how can I get your designer to design me some landing pages? And I didn't really even know what a landing page was back then. Like I was a little bit naive to it. But instead of just introing them to Sib, who was the original designer, who still works with us to this day, which is crazy, I would arbitrage it. So I would sit in the middle and I would say, I can get you a landing page design for, say, $1,000. I would then work with Sib. I would work with a developer. And I would sell them the landing page. Now, it soon became apparent that became quite popular. And Andy had just got in touch with me through the community, my co-founder. And we basically formed a business originally called Landing Page Guys nearly 13 years ago. And we just pumped out these landing pages. We built up a design and development team. We sold to all the affiliates, all the affiliate networks through my affiliate community. I then sold the community, and me and Andy just went all in on what is now called ConversionWise, and that's where we are today.
So, that community, what was that name of that community?
Affiliatefix.com.
Okay. So, is that still up?
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I said, I sold it back in 2017 to Neil Patel and his investment firm. It's still very active. It was and still is the largest free affiliate community online. I think we had like 150,000 members, and yeah, it's still very active. It's not, I would say, as active as it was when I had it. I think I did quite a good job with it. I don't think they've done an amazing job since they've sold it, but it's still there. It's still a great resource for affiliates, and it's great. It's great for me that it's still live because it's my baby. It was like my first ever proper business, and it's the business that allowed me to go from even a 9 to 5, a 8 till 11 as a chef. You work ridiculous hours, to doing what I'm doing now, building a team, building these companies, and having amazing times. So yeah, it's very, very special.
So your site have generated 1 billion plus in revenue. So what's the core lever that consistently drives those kind of outcome?
Yeah, so ConversionWise, we work with a large number of e-com brands. So we've been going for 12 years. We've worked with over 4,000 brands now. We do ongoing conversion rate optimization and A/B testing for around about 50 to 100 brands a month on an ongoing basis. So we have generated in those last 12 years, over $1 billion in additional revenue for those brands that we worked with through optimization. So we do landing pages, we do A/B testing, split testing, multivariate testing. We're turning more clicks into customers. So we work with brands who do large volume of data, and we run tests and experimentation on their sites to generate them more revenue, because you have to remember, we're not responsible for the traffic. So we're not increasing their traffic. We're just turning more of that traffic into profit through experimentation. So yeah, that's a stat that we're amazingly proud of. Last year alone was over 140 million in additional revenue that we generated for the brands that we work for, which is very, very.
So, can you be more specific? Like, who are your ideal clients? Like, who do you
Yeah.
help?
I mean, we help mainly e-com brands. I would say 90% are Shopify, but we have a wide range of companies. We work with startups or brands who are under 20 million, and then we have a handpicked amount of clients who are doing, over 100 million in revenue per year. Our biggest client is probably around about 400 million in revenue per year. So yeah, we kind of go all the way up and forth. And we've worked with some amazing clients. Just this week, I was writing some Twitter content and reminiscing about some of the clients we've worked for. Like their success stories to me are the most important thing, but it's cool to look back and reflect on some of the celebrities and some of the people who entrusted us, or their marketing teams have entrusted us to build their pages. People like, we built Kim Kardashian's first ever marketing funnel about 11 years ago. We've built Lionel Messi's clothing store. We've worked with Manny Pacquiao. We've worked with Mike Tyson, Mayweather, Rob Lowe. We built his skincare brands. We've worked with Lamborghini. So like, I'm not saying these names to show off. Of course I am a little bit, but mainly I'm saying it to like, it's such a nostalgic feeling to look back and think, there's been 4,000 clients, but also some of the biggest names in the world have entrusted us to build their brands funnels. And that's really, really cool to look at.
Okay, so when someone reach out to you, like, how much should their ad spend should be?
It doesn't matter. We can work with anyone because we have two offerings. So if your ad spend is minimal or none, we will work on what we call like best practices. So we will, let's say, for example, you don't have a site, or you have a site and it's not converting very well. We can work on a one-off basis. So we will give you a price to just redesign your whole site based on conversion best practices. And that's a one-off cost. So it's not, we can't work with you if you have minimal sessions. However, on the other side of the business, our other offering is ongoing optimization and CRO. Now, with that, I recommend you have probably over like 200,000 to 300,000 sessions per month before you actually start properly A/B testing. You can still test below that, but you need to be doing bigger swings. You need to be focusing on things like offers, landing pages, new angles, pre-sales, listicles, advertorials, and then you scale, and then you can do proper isolated kind of A/B tests when you have the data. But we work with literally all ends of the spectrum. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, because we see all sorts, but it's quite cool.
Okay, so can you share like some of your your favorite case study?
Yeah, I think one case study that I'm super proud of and that I can share because the individual's given me permission to share is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Ezra Firestone. So Ezra Firestone is one of like the OGs of the internet marketing space. I'm pretty sure you said you do email marketing. He's like one of the biggest email marketers. He founded smartmarketer.com. He's founded a lot of eight-figure e-com brands. One of his most notorious and most well-known brands is a brand called Boom by Cindy Joseph. Ezra brought us on to run his CRO, which in its first instance is really cool because he is like a CRO god. So to bring us on and trust us to do it is like very cool. But what's even cooler is last year alone, we generated over 3.2 million in additional revenue for Boom through experimentation, through creating new offers, landing pages, etc. And we have over like nearly 400 reviews on Trustpilot. But my favorite one is Ezra's, because he was like, when I was getting into marketing, he was like my kind of guy, like I used to look up to. So it's now very cool for me that we're running CRO for him and his brand. So that's a really nice one to kind of talk about.
Okay, so what do you think? Like, what are the few common mistakes like businesses make with their landing page?
Yeah, I think there's I'm a big advocate of best practices. Now some CRO specialists, experts, whatever you want to put us into a bracket with, will tell you that best practices don't exist. That's absolute bullshit. 100% best practices do exist for CRO and landing pages. So there are human psychology principles, there's conversion principles, persuasion principles that you can add onto your page that will make you convert better. So I think one of the biggest mistakes is people neglecting the important principles. We talk about above the fold, so the section that loads on your browser or your mobile when you load a website. Well, we look for three or four things that are crucial. Now, if you don't have those three or four things above the fold, people just aren't going to scroll. I don't know if you've ever installed like heat map software or scroll map software. You would be amazed at how many few people scroll below that above the fold unless it does several things. Now, one, you need to get your value across very clearly. So, a value projection through like a headline, a benefit driven outcome headline is super, super important. Your value proposition, sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Two is social proof. So, how can we get social proof in there, whether it's a review, whether it's a rating, whether it's someone saying what a great job you've done in whatever you're selling or offering? So, you've got, yeah, value, a proposition, social proof, trust and credibility. So another one is like if someone clicks a cold ad from your on Meta or wherever it may be and lands on your landing page, they may not know your business. They may not trust you. They may not understand that you're a real business. So how can we instill trust and credibility above the fold? Well, we do things like we have what we call like a trust bar that runs along the top, and it will say things like established in 2016, served over 1,000 happy customers, made and manufactured in the US, 24/7 support, lifetime guarantee. It's all these little ticks that make someone, once they click an ad, go, these people are real. They do care about us. They're a legitimate business. So those are like three or four things that people forget about, because what happens when you create maybe a product, a course, whatever it may be, is you become so fixated over shiny objects and you're like, I'm the best because I've done this. People don't care about that. What they care about is why you're the best because it benefits them. So you need to flip the thought process of like, stop talking about features and start showing benefits to your consumers and your ideal customers. So there's lots of things that people do. They have wrong layouts. They neglect the conversion principles and best practices. And also, I think there's a common misconception that you can throw every single person that's clicking an ad to the same landing page. Well, that doesn't work because there's different journeys of awareness. There's people who are product aware, and there's people who aren't product aware. There's people who have different pain points, different wants, needs. So this is why we say you should always test multiple angles and multiple pre-sale landing pages. So advertorials, listicles, editorial content into your sales pages. So like even before you direct someone from an ad into a sales page, they may need pre-education. They may not want or understand your product straight away. So let's send them to some editorial content. Let's pre-educate them. But there's loads of things that we can be doing for brands, and we do.
So I'm curious, like, do you guys are doing like that? Like, suppose someone buy, then on the bottom it also like us that this person and with their name purchased 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. You guys also do that?
It's a form of social proof and a little bit of kind of like FOMO. But yeah, they have these like pop up widgets that might say like someone from London bought 3 minutes ago. It does work. There was a phase where like everyone was launching apps with these kind of pop ups around like 342 people have purchased today. It works when it's believable. Any form of urgency and scarcity like that has to be believable and it has to be real. I think we've gone through such, because I've been doing this for like 13 years, I've seen so many different cycles of like not just people, consumers purchasing online, but I guess the whole evolution of people buying online. When 10 years ago when I started, not many people were used to buying online. So you could literally use all the tactics in the book and people would fall for it. They would believe it. You know, if you said only 3 items left, they would be shit, I need to buy it. There's only 3 left. Oh my God. You know, if you had a big flashing banner saying like 50% off, only 2 hours left, people used to fall for it. They were like, oh my God, it's only 2 hours. I need to buy this. Now that stuff doesn't work because we're so accustomed as a generation and as a species to purchase online. It's just the norm that you have to be very subtle and clever if you're going to use things like urgency. So these things can work, but they can also have a negative effect if they're done wrong.
Yeah.
You need to make
So
it
like,
believable, basically.
yeah, exactly. So what do you think, like, the pop up time, like how much time it should be before it also.
Before like a pop-up, for example? It depends what sort of pop-up. Like if you're talking about one of those social proof pop-ups, I think you don't want to interrupt the buyer journey. So you don't want to interrupt someone reading your above the fold or scrolling down. I think subtle forms, I would just do it throughout the page as opposed to a pop-up straight away. The other thing, you asked for mistakes. One big thing people do is they have a huge discount or email opt-in pop-up that appears on the website straight away. Now, one of the best things of advice I can ever give to people is like go on your own site and try and buy your own course or your own product and have a look at how that user experience is. Or give your phone to your mum, your friend, and watch them try and buy it, because you would be amazed at how many people just get so pissed off with like this massive email pop-up that comes up saying you want 10% and you get frustrated because you can't click the X to get rid of it. Then you've got a cookie policy bar that pops up. Then you've got a social proof policy bar that pops up. Then you've got a live chat support thing that comes up. Like, and it becomes so frustrating that people over engineer their pages and it has a negative effect. One thing that we see so many times is people think they have to have like these discount or support icons that pop up for live chat or something. Now that's fine, that can work, but people forget to turn them off when you go to the checkout. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll be bottom of your screen on mobile with the little support bubble. But when you go through to the checkout, where's the checkout button? It's in the exact same place. So we found through click maps that people are like false clicking and they can't go through because your stupid chatbot is still live in your checkout. So like there's loads of things like that that you have to check. But that comes from like just user experience. Just go and test your own website and see if you become frustrated by anything.
Okay, so looking back when you started, what's the one lesson you would tell yourself if you start again?
I don't know, because I don't regret anything. I think I think I started in the right way. I think if anyone's listening to this and they're thinking of going all in and like they have a 9 to 5 because they need to pay the bills, but they're looking to start stuff, do something online. I think the best way to do that is to side hustle it. You have to work hard. You have to be relentless. I think another mistake people make is they're not consistent. You could be like 2 days away from something working, but you give up like after 6 months. Like you have to be consistent with something. Of course, if it doesn't make sense and it's not generating revenue and taking all your time, you need to kill it. But like you have to fail, win. The one thing that I have always been, and I have massive neon signs in my office at home, in my gym at home. In fact, one of my head of sales actually got it tattooed down her arm. And it's a word that I just love, is relentless. I think you have to be relentless. You have to show up every single day. As an entrepreneur, you have to be able to take hits. You have to take failures, but then sometimes you have to zoom out and look at the life that you maybe have achieved and success, and it's all worth it. I think one thing I didn't do soon enough when I was getting into this is like immerse myself around a good network. I think it's really important to have mentors and to have people who are cleverer than you around you. I think when I come from a small town and I was a chef earning no money, doing all the hours until 26. And when I then was able to afford to stop chefing and become an online entrepreneur, I think because I come from a small town where no one had done that before, I think I just thought I knew everything. And like, it was so clear that when I got into the real world, I knew absolutely nothing. So as soon as I got a mentor, things definitely accelerated. So get around people who have been there and done it and listen to them and take their advice. I think that's really important.
Okay, so what is the best book you have ever read that has the most impact on your work?
Key Person of Influence by Daniel Priestley. So Daniel Priestley, I think he's either from New Zealand or maybe South. I can't remember where he's exactly from. He lives in the UK, in London. He's an amazing guy, Daniel Priestley, and he wrote a book called Key Person of Influence. To sum the book up very quickly, it's all about becoming the category king or the most known person within a niche, within a space. So I originally went after the landing page space. I wanted to be, so much so that we called our business for 8 years Landing Page Guys. We literally called ourselves the Landing Page Guys. It was me and Andy, and we had a team, but we were known as the Landing Page Guys because I became obsessed from reading that book. And even now, 12 years on, if someone I see on Twitter says, do you know any landing page designers or developers? Can someone recommend them? And I don't get tagged, I physically feel sick. I still feel sick to this day that like I haven't done enough of my KPI-ness. I haven't made myself enough of a person of influence that I should be tagged in every single post. So that book just changed my life. And I had this obsession with becoming this like key person of influence within CRO. And it's enabled me to grow this incredible brand and company, live an incredible life, sell the company a couple of years ago, be around amazing people, travel around Europe speaking on stages, because I put myself in a position where I was the person of influence, or one of the people with influence within CRO and landing pages. And yeah, for me, someone who's more, I would say, eccentric, who is almost the face of the business. I've got a business partner, Andy, who's the genius. He's the clever one. He does all the back end stuff, the processes. He deals with the people, etc. But for someone who loves doing this kind of thing, it was perfect. It just made everything clear, and I just became obsessed.
For our listeners who want to know more about you or want to connect with you, where can they go?
Yeah, I'm just at Oliver Kenyon on most social platforms. So I tweet a lot. I do a lot of CRO tips and agency and entrepreneurial openness. I kind of build in public now. Or they can check us out and what we do at ConversionWise.com. Or if you don't have the budget to work with us, I suggest going and checking out our academy, ConversionRateAcademy.com. It's less than $50. You can learn all about CRO, implement stuff on your site, and you'll see results. I appreciate it. Thank you.